Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back. So, this story just gets crazier and crazier, right? So, I made the last video on Friday, which was the November 11th, and today is Monday. So, making another video on part 2 of this FTX saga because it just gets more insane. But in case you missed the last video, let me give a quick 30 to 60 second rundown of what happened, recap of this situation. It turns out that FTX, one of the biggest crypto companies in the world, I think they were second or third largest in the world, they were using customer funds to trade, which is very likely illegal, but we'll talk about that very soon. So the owner of the FTX exchange, Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF for short, or as I like to call him, Scam Bank Run Fraud, he funneled money from customer deposits off FTX into Alameda Research, which is a trading firm that he owns. So don't let the name fool you. They're not researching anything. They're just gambling with customer money, apparently. The loans were collateralized by this token that FTX created called FTT, which if it fell below a certain price, then they would get margin called, and that's exactly what happened, right? So the magic number seemed to be $22 per token. So once it dropped below $22, the margin call came in, and then customers started withdrawing their funds because they were afraid that FTX was going to go bankrupt. Well, this led to a bank run, and sure enough, FTX collapsed. And apparently there's a massive $9.4 billion hole in their balance sheet, and at that time they only had $900 million of available assets. So literally they had a tenth of what they should have had if they had not gambled with customer funds. So anyways, that was the recap, and that's what happened as of the last video, which I filmed last Friday. So today is Monday, and now what has happened? Well, there's a few more revelations that have come out, right? So apparently over the weekend, FTX got hacked. And I say hacked with air quotes because it wasn't a hack. Let's face it. It was there was a lot of evidence that it was an insider job. So anyways, they got hacked for the remaining $600 million worth of crypto, like all sorts of different tokens and funds that were left in the FTX wallets, and it was fully drained. So the way this hack was done would have been very difficult for an outsider to pull off because they had what's called root access, which means that they had access to like the very basic layers of the system. So it was reported that SBF or his inner circle, they had built a backdoor, which is a technical term. Basically, it's like, think of like a backdoor to a house, right? They built a backdoor in FTX's technical systems in the software so that they can move funds and not alert the accounting software and not alert like any monitors or anybody that was watching, right? So, it's still being investigated, so I don't want to say like for sure one way or the other if it was a hack or if it was blatant fraud, but like, come on. I think we all know like deep down in our hearts like that it wasn't a hack, like it was an insider job, right? And we kind of know who did it. So yeah, here's the artist rendition of what the hacker looks like. Yeah, they realized the gig was up and then they had to take the money and run. So I'm hearing that the reports are saying that 200 out of the $600 million was recovered because the hackers made some very amateurish mistakes, like using Kraken to launder the stolen funds and also using Tether, which can actually be frozen by Tether, like the company that issues Tether. But still, $400 million is a lot of money, and customers are reporting that their account balance is actually showing zero, whereas before they actually had some funds that were frozen in there. They just couldn't withdraw it, but now it's actually showing zero. The more recently, more truth has been coming out about SBF, and in retrospect, the red flags were there, but you know, hindsight is 2020, right? So apparently SBF did not know how the blockchain worked when he first started trading coins, and there's revelations also regarding Caroline Ellison, who's the CEO of Alameda, who's also SBF's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. Like, so they had some type of romantic relationship. So like it was all insiders, right? And there were multiple videos of her that have surfaced that just showed that she seemed to lack very basic financial knowledge, right? You think that being the CEO of a major company, which Alameda had like $5 billion of asset under management at one point, you think that like she knows some finance, right? But apparently she's never used a stop loss order, and yeah, like what could possibly go wrong, right? So there are also reports of the FTX collapse contagion spreading. So as I'm recording this right now, there is a bank run in progress on crypto.com, which is another big crypto exchange. So if you have funds on crypto.com, I suggest you withdraw it immediately as soon as you can to an external wallet. I'm not saying that they're going to collapse like FTX, and I'm not trying to fuel FUD or anything like that. If nothing happens, feel free to just move your funds back, right? But like, you know, you got to think of yourself first in situations like this. You know, just get your money out just in case, right? Like, I don't want anybody to lose any more money because a lot of people have lost a lot of money because of this FTX thing, right? So, anyways, that's a recap of the story so far. I'll keep making videos to keep you guys updated if new developments happen. I just want to like spend the last part of this video though talking about some of my thoughts that I had, right? So first of all, I see a lot of hate and anger being directed at financial YouTubers. Just finance YouTube is a mess right now, and some of it's justified, of course. Some of it's a little bit unfair in my opinion, and I'll go through this, right? In particular, I see a lot of people getting angry at YouTubers like Meet Kevin, Jeremy from Financial Education, Graham Stephan, and Andre Jick. And if I remember correctly, all of them at some point have promoted FTX or been sponsored by FTX or BlockFi as well, who has also stopped withdrawals and looks like they're gonna file for bankruptcy soon. So before I say my opinion though, just as a disclaimer, I want to make this very clear, okay? So I have never promoted FTX, BlockFi, or Celsius. Nor have I ever taken money from them, or have I've never been an affiliate of any of those. I did not even have an FTX account. Now, I did have an account at Celsius and an account at BlockFi. However, and I've talked about them in the past at some points in some videos. However, I just want to say I've never promoted them, okay? So I've never promoted BlockFi, Celsius with referral codes or anything like that. I did not even have an FTX account. I never even talked about FTX. So let me just get that out of the way, okay? So, you know, the reason why I talked about Celsius and BlockFi is just because I personally thought it was interesting, and I did have some money on Celsius, which is lost, right? But again, I've never recommended anyone use any of these platforms. I was just sharing my thoughts on those platforms and what I'm willing to do and taking some risk with my money, which obviously was a mistake, right? So let me just get that out of the way, okay? And you know, believe it or not, the reason why I never promoted these companies is because at the back of my head, I knew that there was a certain level of risk with all these new crypto companies, and because they're really unproven, right? And I was afraid that something like this was going to happen. Now, could I have predicted this exact set of events? Of course not, right? Did I know that FTX was doing all this shady stuff in the back? Of course not. But I knew these things were risky, and again, I was willing to put a small portion of my capital at risk on BlockFi and Celsius. Now, I withdrew everything from BlockFi when Celsius collapsed because like at that point I just lost all trust in you know, these crypto lending platforms. But you know, I know a lot of people who have funds stuck on BlockFi as well, and you know, my heart goes out to them. So lesson learned. Don't trust these like crypto lending companies, at least not right now, right? Maybe down the line, 10 years later in the future, maybe it will be a thing, but right now it's no. Okay, so regarding the other YouTubers though, like the financial YouTubers like Kevin and Jeremy or whatever, I'm a little bit conflicted actually. So I know this is not a popular opinion, but I'm going to say my opinion anyways. I don't just say stuff that's popular. I'm going to give you my honest thoughts, right? So yes, on one hand, I do think that these people who pushed FTX sponsorships deserve some blame and some criticism for not vetting their sponsors properly. But on the other hand, I have to admit that FTX duped a lot of people, right? So think about it this way: they were a $30 billion company with big investors like BlackRock, Sequoia Capital, and even Kevin O'Leary. Even the people who worked at FTX, the people that weren't the executives, that weren't part of scam bank run frauds inner circle, even they thought the company was legit, right? So a lot of the engineers or a lot of the customer service teams, they had no idea. So it's just like, if before 2008, if YouTube was a thing, which it wasn't, but let's say if it was a big thing back then, if Lehman Brothers wanted to sponsor you for a huge ad or a sponsorship, what would you have done, right? So if you're being honest, and please be honest with yourself, would you have really made sure that you've done your due diligence and make sure that it's not a company that's going to collapse, right? And then, would you have caught all of this like with Lehman Brothers before 2008, right? So yeah, that's just my point, right? And watching people like Graham Stephan and meet Kevin and Jeremy, I know like at their cores they're good guys, like they're business people, right? They're entertainers, they need to make money, and sometimes they like to embellish things and try to make things seem super great just to like get people to sign up so that they can make money. So that part is definitely their fault and they should apologize for that. But at their cores, I do think that they are good guys, and I honestly don't believe that there was any malice involved with the finance YouTubers, and I honestly think that they were just duped just as hard as the rest of us. So in my opinion, we should direct our anger at the real villains, and the real villain is, you guessed it, SBF and his inner circle. So Alameda Research, as I said, they had over $5 billion of asset under management at one point, and they gambled it and they lost it all. Which that part is fine because it's investor, like it's hedge fund money. It's all like, big capital that's being lost. But the part where they crossed the line is that after they lost $5 billion, they should have just closed down Alameda and be done with it. Instead, they decided to take $10 billion of customer funds and take it and gamble that too, and then they lost it all. So that is fraud, and that is unacceptable if that is proven to be true. And it looks like it is true, although, there's always a chance more info could come out. But from what it looks like right now, it looks like that's exactly what happened, right? And if that wasn't enough, when there was only $600 million left in the FTX wallets, they had to steal that too. So that's absolutely criminal. And there's no excuse that can ever, wash away like that if that's what happened, right? And we'll see. Like, the investigation is ongoing, and the FBI, the DOJ, like all the relevant authorities are already, the SEC, they're all investigating this. But yeah, unfortunately, for the rest of the industry, though, we're going to be negatively impacted for a long time. And I'm talking about the crypto industry as well as the financial YouTuber industry, like as well, right? So this is kind of like the Theranos moment of crypto. So Theranos, if you don't know, was this big blood testing company founded by this woman named Elizabeth Holmes. And people regarded Elizabeth Holmes as the next Steve Jobs, and she was like on the cover of Fortune magazine and stuff. And also, by the way, Sam Bankman-Fried was on the cover of Fortune magazine too, so maybe like it's cursed or whatever. But yeah, it turns out that Elizabeth Holmes lied about everything, and the machines didn't work, and the entire company was a scam, basically, right? And that's exactly what it looks like FTX was, just in the crypto version. But again, just because FTX was a fraud, it doesn't mean that all of crypto is a fraud, right? Just because Theranos was a fraud, it doesn't mean that all of the medical field or all the blood testing companies are frauds. It's just, a few bad actors that kind of spoil it for the rest of the industry. But one thing I will say, though, to end this video, on the bright side, maybe it is better in the long run that this FTX crisis happened now, because keep in mind, SBF was spending hundreds of millions of dollars lobbying the government, and he was one of the biggest donors to the Democratic Party. So he was saying how he was gonna spend up to $1 billion lobbying and in political donations in the 2024 presidential election. So that's a huge red flag, right? So basically, he was spending all this money, which was stolen customer funds essentially because his company was just a fraud. But anyways, he was spending all this money to lobby the government to give favorable treatment to himself and to FTX and to push out all the competitors so that he can dominate the field. So that is like insidious, but on a whole new level, right? So now that we see his true colors, SBF, do you really want someone like SBF to be in control of that much political power and influence, right? Now that his grift has been revealed, we don't have to worry about him accumulating power anymore. So if there's one bright side that comes out of this, is that we just, essentially got rid of SBF like once and for all. But yeah, anyways, for those of you who are still here, good for you. And I'm here with you as well, right? So there's going to be a lot of critics of crypto that are just all piling on at once in the next little while. And there's nothing we can really do about that. But as I said in the last video, and I'll say it again, just focus on the technology and not the people, right? A few bad actors ruined the entire industry and the reputation of the crypto industry. It's now up to us to kind of rebuild on a foundation of honesty and integrity, okay? So that's all I have to say for today's video. Again, I'll keep you guys updated if more developments come, and thanks for watching. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.